truth number 2 is there is a lot of robberies in South Africa. This may include cars being hijacked, this may include house break-ins, and this may include being mugged on the streets. So being mugged on the streets is a huge thing. It happens all the time, especially in hotspots like Pretoria, Gauteng.
Like Gucci, Gucci, Louis, Louis, Fendi, Fendi, Prada. Them basic bitches wear that shit, so I don't even bother. Gucci, Gucci, Louis, Louis, Fendi, Fendi, Prada. Them basic bitches wear that shit, so I don't even bother. Gucci, Gucci, Louis, Louis, Fendi, Fendi, Prada. Them basic bitches wear that shit, so I don't even bother. Gucci, Gucci, Louis, Louis, Fendi.
What is good, T gang? It is your girl T. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new to this channel, then don't be shy to smash the subscribe button down below. Turn on your post notifications to get notified every time I post a video, baby. Today I am going to be talking about the 5 uncomfortable truths about living in South Africa that most people don't really like talking about on YouTube. But I found out that this video may be helpful to people who are planning to migrate to South Africa or planning to relocate and start their lives in South Africa. So when they arrive in the Republic, they can be ready for these uncomfortable living conditions that people don't usually really like talking about on YouTube. So the first uncomfortable truth about living in South Africa is gender-based violence. Now, we do hear a lot about gender-based violence in South Africa, and this is the truth that we can't run away from. We always hear a woman was beaten to death by her boyfriend, or a woman was killed by her boyfriend. So this gender-based violence is a very common thing in South Africa, and it is very uncomfortable to know that women are in so much trouble when men are supposed to be protecting us women. They actually don't protect us, and they use their power that they have. They use their hands that they are supposed to use to work and protect us. They use them to beat up women. So this is so uncomfortable, but it is a fact that gender-based violence is a very common thing in South Africa. So be careful of the guy that you end up with. Sometimes you do see the signs of a guy who is physically abusive. When it happens once, or when you see the red flags, I usually advise women to leave the situation, because mostly we do come across gender-based violence as situations where women don't go out of the situation, and they want to leave when things are actually a bit too late. So this is one uncomfortable thing about living in South Africa, where men are not protecting us, but instead are using their hands to use violence against us. So as I was doing my research on the gender-based violence thing, I found out that in 2010, there's a survey that was done by the Medical Council Research, where they found out that at least 1 man in 3 men has raped a woman. So imagine 1 in 3 men, that is such a huge number, has raped a woman. It's not only the physical violence that we see of beating women up in South Africa, but we also see where men are raping women. Rape is also something that we see as a form of gender-based violence towards women. So women are getting physically abused, being beaten up, or women are getting raped, women are getting kidnapped. So this is a common thing that we hear about on a daily, at least in my life, I hear it on a daily, that a girl was killed by her boyfriend, someone was raped. So this is so uncomfortable, but it is the truth. So you have to protect yourself, you have to keep yourself safe. Uncomfortable truth number 2 is there is a lot of robberies in South Africa. This may include cars being hijacked, this may include house break-ins, and this may include being mugged on the streets. So being mugged on the streets is a huge thing. It happens all the time, especially in hotspots like Pretoria, Gauteng, Johannesburg. You get mugged on a daily. I don't know how many times I've heard people say they were mugged in broad daylight. Well, it even happened to me once where I was mugged in broad daylight and people were watching and nobody helped. So that is the thing. No one is going to help you. People are going to look at you getting mugged, because I am not going to risk my life to help you because they are mugging your phone. So that's how it is. People will mug you. They will do their thing while people are watching you. So I would advise that if you're going out, leave your belongings at home, take your bank card with you only, leave cash, leave your phone, because usually they also target women, mostly because they know we are weak. So they target women, they mug you, they take your phone. because usually men fight back, but as for women, we can't fight back. Usually they target women, especially in Pretoria, where I was staying before, where women were getting mugged. You just leave your gate and in less than 2 minutes you're back. They've mugged you. Your money is gone, your phone is gone. So when you're going out, especially when you're walking alone, leave your phone, leave your belongings in the house. Especially if you're planning to migrate to Gauteng, you want to come to Pretoria, Johannesburg, those kind of places, just be safe. And usually we used to be encouraged to work as a group of people, especially if we are women. We want to go and do grocery shoppings. This is the time when I was a student. They would advise us that, you know, go as a group. At least go as a group of more than 5. Do not walk alone because you're at risk of getting mugged. So these are ways that you can help yourself to be safe. If it is an act that is ongoing, that people are always getting mugged, then you have to also take measure of making sure that you're safe. So this leads me to a point where I want to talk about we end up seeing murders, because if a car hijack goes wrong, you are going to kill the person. If a house break-in goes wrong, you are going to kill the people in the house, because there's no way you're not going to use the gun that you're having when you're trying to break in the house or trying to hijack. So these kind of robberies that go wrong, they end up in murder if they go wrong. So it leads me to a fact where people end up getting killed. A large number of people are getting killed. So always make sure that you are at the right place at the right time. Avoid dodgy places at night. Do not wait for the dark for you to go somewhere. Always be safe to protect yourself. Then we have number 3 uncomfortable thing that I've seen is called corrective rape. That's what they call it. Now we know that the LGBTQI was legalized. Same-sex marriages were legalized in South Africa, and it was actually included in the constitution in 1996 in South Africa. But we still have some people who believe that if you are a lesbian and you have sex with a guy, it can correct you to be straight. I usually hear people say that a lot, like, ha, Lorna, this one, if you can have sex with her as a guy, she will be straight. What kind of mentality is that? Why would you think that if you can have sex with a lesbian, she's gonna be straight? Why would you think that if you have sex with a gay man, he's going to be straight? I've heard it a lot, where people say if you have sex with a gay person or a lesbian person, they're gonna be straight. We call it corrective rape. Sometimes people end up raping, forcing themselves onto someone to correct them to be straight. And this is such a wrong, awful act that people should stop doing. If someone is gay, they are gay. If someone is lesbian, they are lesbian. We do understand that the LGBTQI was legalized in South Africa. Same-sex marriages were legalized. But why do we still have some people with this mentality that you can actually, you have the right to force yourself onto someone for them to be straight? That is so uncomfortable. Then uncomfortable truth number 4 is the high unemployment rate, especially in the youth. You go to varsity, you graduate, you go home, you sit because there's no employment. You go to school, you go to university, you graduate, you go back home to sit. So this is the reality of South Africa. Most people are unemployed. I still hear people say there are jobs in South Africa. There are no jobs in South Africa. Maybe long back there were jobs, but now there are no jobs in South Africa. So people are struggling. The youth is just sitting at home. You know, I've heard of lawyers, people who studied law and went back home to sit. I've heard of people, I even heard that now teachers, there's a lot of teachers in South Africa. You a teacher, but you're just sitting at home, you have nothing to do. So this is the reality in South Africa. There's a high unemployment rate in South Africa in the youth, and the youth is just sitting at home. Then the last one I would like to talk about is the uncomfortable truth about living in South Africa. This one is directed strictly to foreign people, not to South African people. If you're a foreign person who comes in South Africa, I'm talking about my experience because I studied in the medical field. You study in the medical field, you finish your varsity. When you are done with varsity, you're not going to get placement for community service unless if you have a permanent residency or an ID. And this is something that I didn't know. And if there is a foreign person who's watching this out there, you know, and you can take action when you still have time. Because I went to university, no one ever told me that when I'm done with university I'm not going to get placement for community service. No one told me that I am not going to be registered with the HPCSA. No one told me anything. I had to find out when I was done with university that, you know what, it's tough, I'm not going to get employment and I need a permanent residency. That time I only have a passport and a permit. So this is so uncomfortable, because you go to varsity, you pay foreign levies, you pay more tuition fee than other students are, and after that there's no employment for you. You go and sit down, you find out you're a doctor, you go home and sit. You're a physiotherapist, you go home and sit. You're an occupational therapist, you go home and sit. Your degree becomes useless. I mean, it becomes so useless when you're a foreigner. So these are things that you should actually research on. If you're planning to migrate to South Africa, you're a foreigner, you want to go into the medical field, research these things. Research. Make sure you equipped with information. So yes, we have reached towards the end of this video. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, leave your comments in the comment section, and share this video with your family and friends. If I have my people, foreign people planning to migrate to South Africa, planning to start a new life in South Africa, I hope this video was so helpful to you guys. You should take measures to make sure that you're safe. Equip yourself with information and knowledge on the country that you're trying to migrate to, because it will help you so much. So I hope this you bump into this video the relevant people. So yes, until next time, bye.